Good morning students. I hope you are all doing good. Let us see what we are going to discuss in today's class. Hi Ma, good morning all of you. In previous class we have completed preparations of nitrogen. In laboratory we have seen three preparations. Ammonium chloride and sodium nitrate will undergo reaction to form nitrogen. Ammonium dichromate will undergo thermal decomposition to form nitrogen. Metallic nitrides, example sodium azide or barium azide, they will undergo thermal decomposition to form nitrogen gas. Like this we have seen the preparations of nitrogen. Commercially, nitrogen is prepared from air by fractional distillation, liquefaction and fractional distillation of air. Okay, these are the preparations of nitrogen. In previous class we have completed. Next we will go through properties. Coming under properties of nitrogen, dinitrogen is a colorless gas. It has no color, odorless, tasteless and non-toxic gas. It is not at all toxic to us. Nitrogen atom has two stable isotopes. Atoms of same element which have same atomic number but different mass number are called isotopes. Nitrogen has two isotopes, 7n14 and 7n15. N14 and N15 isotopes. As atomic number is same, they did not mention 7n14 and 7n15. It has a very low solubility in water. It will not be soluble highly in water. It is very low soluble in water. 23.2 centimeter cube per liter of water at 273 Kelvin and 1 bar pressure. Why did they mention temperature and pressure? According to temperature and pressure, solubility of the gases in liquids varied. We have seen in solutions already. That's why if you are discussing the solubility of a gas in liquid, definitely we want to mention temperature and pressure. 23.2 centimeter cube means milliliter. 23.2 milliliter of nitrogen will be dissolved in 1 liter of water. That only maximum extent it can dissolve. And low freezing point and boiling points. Very low freezing point and boiling points. At room temperature, nitrogen is existed in the form of gas. All gases have very low boiling points and melting points. Dinitrogen is rather inert at room temperature because of the high bond enthalpy. What is meant by bond enthalpy? Bond enthalpy or bond dissociation energy or bond energy, all are same only. Here, why nitrogen has very high bond energy? Because between nitrogen and nitrogen 3 bonds are there. 2 pi bonds and 1 sigma bond. Energy required to break 3 bonds is very high. That's why bond energy is very high. When bond energy is high, molecule is stable. When the energy required to break the bond is high, that bond cannot be broken easily because it is stable. That's why only the bond cannot be broken easily. Like that we can say. Reactivity, however, increases rapidly with rise in temperature. Anyways, any substance will undergo reaction at high temperatures. When temperature is increased, to undergo reaction capability is also increased. Okay, at higher temperatures, it directly combines with some metals to form predominantly ionic nitrides. Because this is electronegative in nature, it will be getting negative charge and metals will be getting positive charge. So positive and negative charge are present, those are called ionic compounds, ionic nitrides, and with non-metals covalent nitrates are going to be formed. A few typical reactions are, what are those reactions? Let us see. 6Li plus N2. When we heat that one, we will get 2Li3N, lithium nitride. 3Mg plus N2. By heating, you will get Mg3N2. So in the same way, nitrogen combines with hydrogen at about 773 Kelvin in the presence of a catalyst to form ammonia. Nitrogen combines with hydrogen. Nitrogen is the gas. Hydrogen is also gas. It is at equilibrium at 773 Kelvin to get ammonia, 2NH3 gas. Delta HF, heat of formation, is equal to minus 46.1 kilojoules per mole. This reaction is called preparation of ammonia from nitrogen and hydrogen, is called Haber's process. In the presence of a catalyst. Okay, this process is called Haber's process. N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3. Next, dinitrogen combines with dioxin only at very high temperature, at about 2000 Kelvin, to form nitric oxide NO. N2 plus O2. Very high temperature is required, 2000 Kelvin, to form 2NO gas, nitric oxide. NO name is nitric oxide. This is happened at 2000 Kelvin, very high temperature. Okay ma, these are the properties of nitrogen. Nitrogen combines with metals to form metallic nitrides. Nitrogen combines with non-metals to form covalent. This is ionic hydride, this is covalent hydride. This is also called metallic hydride also, we can tell. Okay, and nitrogen combined with oxygen to form nitric oxide. Okay, observe here. Li plus N2 gives rise to 2Li3N. 3Mg plus N2 gives rise to Mg3N2. N2 plus 3H2 at 773 Kelvin to form 2NH3 gas. Delta H is equal to minus 46.1 kilojoules per mole. Dinitrogen combines with dioxin only at high temperature, very high temperature. N2 plus O2 at 2000 Kelvin to form 2NO. These are the properties of nitrogen gas. Previously we have seen preparations of nitrogen gas. By this, nitrogen gas preparations and properties are completed. Next we can see uses. The main use of dinitrogen is in the manufacture of ammonia, which is very important chemical. Ammonia is very important chemical industrially. The main use of dinitrogen is in the manufacture of ammonia and other industrial chemicals containing nitrogen. Example, calcium cyanamide. It also finds use where an inert atmosphere is required. Example, in iron and steel industry, inert diluent for reactive chemicals. Liquid dinitrogen is used as a refrigerant to preserve biological materials, food items, and in cryosurgery. These are the uses. Main use is it is used to prepare ammonia gas. Nitrogen is very inert in nature. That's why it is used to create inert atmosphere. And third one, it is used as a refrigerant to preserve biological materials, food items, and in cryosurgery. This is about preparation, properties, and uses of N2. Preparation, properties, and uses of N2. Okay ma, by this we completed 7.2. Next we can go through 7.3. What is that 7.3? Ammonia. Let us start with that one. Before that, I hope you are understanding every concept. Okay, let us see now. These are the compounds of nitrogen. First one is dinitrogen, second one is ammonia. Sorry ma, this is 7.3. Ammonia formula is NH3. Same in what way we have discussed preparation properties and uses of nitrogen. Like that here also we are going to discuss preparation properties and ammonia, uses of ammonia. So immediately our side heading is preparation. Let us see what are the preparations of ammonia. Ammonia is present in small quantities in air and soil. Ammonia is present in small quantities in air and soil, where it is formed by the decay of nitrogenous organic matter, example urea. In soil we have natural urea. Okay, different types of animals excretion and different types of organic matter decomposition, all these things in the earth surface, soil, they will be formed as urea. Okay, that urea nitrogenous organic matter will undergo decomposition to form ammonia gas. That's why slight amount of ammonia is present in the atmosphere as well as in soil. Ammonia is present in small quantities in air and soil, where it is formed by the decay of nitrogenous organic matter, example urea. Urea formula is NH2CONH2. That NH2CONH2 combines with water to form ammonium carbonate. That ammonium carbonate will undergo decomposition to form ammonia, water and CO2. Urea will undergo reaction with water to form ammonium carbonate. That ammonium carbonate will undergo decomposition to form ammonia, water and H2O. Okay, next. On a small scale, ammonia is obtained from ammonium salts, which decompose when treated with caustic soda. Caustic soda means NaOH or calcium hydroxide. NaOH is called caustic soda. Okay, let us see the reactions ma. First one, NH2CONH2 plus 2H2O gives rise to NH4 twice CO3. This is called ammonium carbonate. This ammonium carbonate will undergo decomposition reaction to form ammonia plus H2O plus CO2. This is first preparation. Next, second one. It is prepared in small scale. On a small scale, ammonia is obtained from ammonium salts. Ammonium salt example NH4Cl. 2NH4Cl reacts with CaOH twice to form 2NH3 plus 2H2O plus CaCl2. And next one, NH4 twice SO4, ammonium sulfate. Ammonium sulfate will undergo reaction with NaOH to form 2NH3 plus 2H2O plus Na2SO4, sodium sulfate. Is it okay, ma? This is in small scale. Second preparation is in small scale. On large scale, ammonia is prepared by Haber's process. on large scale ammonia is prepared by Haber's process. Let us see that one. Ammonia is manufactured by Haber's process. N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3. This is called Haber's process. Delta H is equal to minus 46.1 kilojoules per mole, meaning this is exothermic process. While nitrogen and hydrogen are combined to form ammonia, energy is going to be released. The reaction which is involved by the releasing of energy is called exothermic reaction. Actually, this reaction is in equilibrium. Immediately, ammonia will undergo decomposition to form nitrogen and hydrogen gases. Reversible reaction this is. Is it okay? So now we will apply equilibrium in this preparation. If you want ammonia, in accordance with Le Chatelier's principle, in our equilibrium chapter class 11, chapter 7, we have seen that Le Chatelier's principle. High pressure would favor the formation of ammonia. This ammonia to be formed, high pressure is required. The optimum conditions for the production of ammonia are, optimum means the required. The required conditions for the production of ammonia are a pressure of 200 into 10 power 5 pascals, 200 into 10 power 5 pascals, about 200 atmospheres. High temperature, very high pressure. Normal sea level pressure is 1 atmosphere only. We are surrounded by 1 atmosphere pressure. But this one, 200 atmospheres pressure must be applied. A temperature of approximately 700 Kelvin. And the use of a catalyst such as iron oxide, Fe2O3, with small amounts of K2O and Al2O3. These are catalysts to increase the rate of attainment of equilibrium. That means if you want ammonia, these are the conditions. The flow chart for the production of ammonia is shown in figure 7.1. Earlier, iron was used as a catalyst with molybdenum as a promoter. Promoter means it will activate the catalyst. Promoter is the substance which will activate the catalyst. In olden days, molybdenum is used as promoter in Haber's process. What is meant by promoter? The substance which will activate catalyst is called promoter. But nowadays we are replacing that iron in presence of molybdenum as promoter with iron oxide, K2O, in presence of small amounts of K2O and Al2O3 to increase the rate of attainment of equilibrium. Okay, ma? The flow chart for the production of ammonia is shown in figure 7.1. That one we will see that one. Earlier, iron was used as a catalyst with molybdenum as a promoter. This is in earlier days. Nowadays, we are using iron oxide as the catalyst, Fe2O3. Now, this is the flow chart. Through one pipe, we are sending nitrogen gas. Through another pipe, we are sending hydrogen gas. These two, nitrogen and hydrogen, here they will not undergo reaction here, ma. It is like a mixture. They will enter into compressor. Here the reaction will not be taken place. They will enter into the compressor, na. Here in compressor, what is the pressure? 20 megapascals. So this mixture N2 and hydrogen enter into this high pressure compressor. From this they will enter into this tube. From this pipe they will come down and they enter into catalyst. Iron oxide, Al2O3 plus K2O. After entering into catalyst, they will be combined to form ammonia. Here they will be combined to form ammonia. From here onwards, the pressure is maintained as it is. With that pressure, N2 and hydrogen gas are entering into the catalyst. In this chamber, they will undergo reaction to form ammonia. See, N2 plus H2 to form ammonia. This ammonia in this tube, it will enter into this chamber. In here, you will get liquid ammonia. It is reversible reaction, na? NH3 again can be converted to nitrogen and hydrogen. So, even though at this high pressure also, slight amount of ammonia again changes to nitrogen and hydrogen. That nitrogen and hydrogen, which is formed from liquid ammonia, reversible reaction, ma. See, ammonia reversible, it will undergo reversible reaction to form nitrogen and hydrogen. This is unreacted gases. So this N2 and H2, which is obtained from liquid ammonia, here reversible reaction is taken place, and they will send into this tube. Through this tube, they will come here and they will enter into the pump. Through that pump again, it will be sent here and they will join here. Again, they will come into the catalyst. Again, the process will be repeated. Ammonia is formed. Ammonia will be liquefied into this container. Again, some amount of nitrogen and hydrogen will be gone out. That one again, it will be sent into the chamber. Like that, the process is repeated. Here, circle process is going to be repeated, as well as from here they are going to send hydrogen and nitrogen gases parallelly. So the circle process keep on going on, and till the completion of this liquid ammonia formation, the reaction will be keep on going on. If you don't use these pressure and temperature conditions, ammonia is not going to be formed fully. Some amount of nitrogen and hydrogen will be present in the container. So both nitrogen, hydrogen and liquid ammonia are said to be in equilibrium. That's why we have to use this pressure condition and temperature conditions also. So finally, what are the optimum conditions for preparing ammonia? What are the optimum conditions for preparing ammonia? Let us see that one. Optimum conditions for manufacturing ammonia. Pressure 200 atmospheres, almost 200 atmospheres. Temperature approximately 700 Kelvin. Catalyst Fe2O3 iron oxide in presence of Al2O3 plus K2O, and the reaction which is going to be taken place in Haber's process is N2 gas plus 3H2 gas is in equilibrium with 2NH3. According to Le Chatelier's principle, because of this pressure and temperature condition, forward reaction is going to be taken place to form ammonia as the product. Okay, so this is the preparation of ammonia. On a large scale, ammonia is manufactured by Haber's process. On a small scale, we have seen different methods previously, from urea and from ammonium salts. Ammonium salts, ammonium chloride and ammonium sulfate. This is urea. These are the preparations of ammonia. By this we completed preparation of ammonia. Next we can see properties of ammonia. Ammonia structure is trigonal pyramidal shape. It will be getting trigonal pyramidal shape. Ammonia is a colorless gas with a pungent odor. Pungent means we can't bear that smell. Very thick means like in perfumes, very thick smells are there, like that. Some they cannot bear that smell. That is only pungent smell. Ammonia is a colorless gas. It has no color with a pungent odor. Its freezing and boiling points are 198.4 and 239.7 Kelvin respectively. These freezing and boiling points for every substance, they will give information only. No need to by heart them. This is for reference purpose only. Remember. In the solid and liquid states, it is associated through hydrogen bonds. This ammonia can form hydrogen bonds because it is containing high alternative atom nitrogen, and hydrogen is bonded to high alternative atom nitrogen. That's why this ammonia can form hydrogen bonds. As in the case of water. In water, how oxygen will form hydrogen bonds, like that in ammonia, nitrogen can form hydrogen bond with other molecule. And that accounts for its high melting and boiling points. The substance which can form hydrogen bonds have higher melting and boiling points than expected on the basis of its molecular mass. The ammonia molecule is trigonal pyramidal with the nitrogen atom at the apex. Apex is nothing but that point. See, pyramid shape we know like this. This point is called apex. Here on nitrogen is present at apex and hydrogens are present here. Trigonal pyramidal shape. Ammonia molecule is trigonal pyramidal with the nitrogen atom at the apex. It has 3 bond pairs and 1 lone pair. 1, 2, 3. This dash representation is nothing but down the plane. It is below the plane. It is a 3-dimensional molecule. Okay. Pyramidal with the nitrogen atom at the apex. It has 3 bond pairs. 1, 2, 3 bond pairs, 1 lone pair, and 1 lone pair of electrons as shown in the structure. Ammonia, that is about explanation of ammonia structure and all these things. Now, what about its solubility? Ammonia gas is highly soluble in water. Its aqueous solution is weakly basic due to the formation of OH- ions. Because this ammonia NH3, when it dissolves in water, ammonia is the gas, when it is dissolved in water, you will get NH4 plus ions, because this one will abstract proton from water. NH3 will react with proton from water by coordinate covalent bond to form NH4 plus OH- ions. Aqueous, this is also aqueous. As it contains OH- ions in solution, it is slightly basic in nature. So NH4OH is a weak base. It forms ammonium salts. Ammonia gas is highly soluble in water. Its aqueous solution is weakly basic due to the formation of OH- ions. NH3 plus H2O is in equilibrium with NH4 plus OH-. It forms ammonium salts with acids. Example, NH4Cl, NH4 twice SO4, etc. As a weak base, it precipitates the hydroxides, hydrated oxides in case of some metals, of many metals from their salt solutions. For example, ZnSO4 plus 2NH4OH gives rise to OH ions, and SO4 minus 2 ions will undergo exchange to form ZnOH twice. This OH will be reacted with Zn to form ZnOH twice plus NH4 twice SO4. This is precipitate of zinc oxide. Same FeCl3 reacts with NH4OH to form Fe2O3 XH2O plus NH4Cl. This is brown precipitate. It precipitates the hydroxides of many metals from their salt solutions. This is the aqueous solution of salt solution of Zn. This is the aqueous solution of salt solution of iron. From these aqueous solutions, it will precipitate its hydroxide ions, metal hydroxides. And this is metal oxide, hydrated metal oxide, which is brown precipitate. This is only rustma. Okay, next. The presence of a lone pair of electrons on the nitrogen atom of the ammonia molecule makes it a Lewis base. According to Lewis, According to Lewis, substance which will donate lone pair of electrons is called Lewis base. The substance which will donate lone pair of electrons is called Lewis base. According to Lewis, this is the definition of base. Substance which will donate lone pair of electrons is called base. Now NH3 contains lone pair of electrons. On nitrogen, lone pair is there. So it has capability to donate the lone pair of electrons towards acid. So it is behaving like a Lewis base. Okay, now see the point, ma. The presence of a lone pair of electrons on the nitrogen atom of the ammonia molecule makes it a Lewis base. It donates the electron pair and forms linkage with metal ions. And the formation of such complex compounds finds applications in detection of metal ions such as Cu plus 2 and Ag plus ions. Cu plus 2 aqueous solution reacts with 4 ammonia molecules which are in aqueous solution to form CuNH3 plus 2 coordination compound complex deep blue color. These are all coordination compounds. Already we have studied these coordination compounds, I think. Okay. All coordination compounds are majorly colors in color. They are showing colors. This is the coordination compound formed when Cu plus 2 reacts with 4 ammonia molecules. In this NH3 is acting like a ligand and its name is amine. Okay ma? Next Ag plus reacts with Cl minus to form AgCl. This Ag plus is colorless, AgCl is white precipitate. Now this AgCl reacts with ammonia. This white precipitate reacts with ammonia to form AgNH3 twice Cl. It will be soluble in water. So it is colorless. Not only that one, it has no unpaired electrons. That's why it is colorless. This is also coordination compound only, but it has no unpaired electrons. I told major coordination compounds are colored, but some coordination compounds which are colorless also, they should, in which central metal atom should not contain unpaired electron, those are colorless. Okay ma? These are the properties of ammonia. After that, uses of ammonia. Ammonia is used to produce various nitrogenous fertilizers, ammonium nitrate, urea, ammonium phosphate and ammonium sulfate. These are all nitrogenous fertilizers. Maximum fertilizers are containing nitrogen ma. And in the manufacture of some inorganic nitrogen compounds also. The most important one being nitric acid. It is used in the preparation of nitric acid, very important. Nitric acid formula HNO3. Liquid ammonia is also used as a refrigerant. Liquid ammonia is used as a refrigerant. Refrigerant means in ACs, in fridges we will use that one. That is refrigerant, coolant substance. Okay ma? These are about preparation properties and uses of ammonia. Preparation properties and uses of ammonia. I hope you understood this concept. We have seen that started with ammonia. In today's class we have started with the properties of dinitrogen. We completed the properties. After that we started with ammonia, started with preparation. On large scale, ammonia is prepared in Haber's process by using Haber's process. And flowchart of this one also we have seen. This is a flowchart only, not actual equipment. The flowchart for the production of ammonia is shown in figure 7.1. Here catalyst is maintained at temperature 700 Kelvin. Here pressure is applied. Through that nitrogen and hydrogen mixture will pass and will form ammonia. Okay, next. Properties of ammonia we have seen. And uses of ammonia. By this we completed compounds of nitrogen. Those are dinitrogen and ammonia. Okay ma, this is 7.3. Ammonia is 7.3. 7.4 was deleted. Oxides of nitrogen, this is completely deleted. 7.4. Next, which one we have? Along with that one I will explain. See, 7.4 is completely deleted for you. Next topic is, which one is going to be explained? Let us see that one. 7.4 deleted, I told ma already. 7.4 was deleted. Now our next concept is 7.5, which is nitric acid. Nitric acid formula is HNO3. 7.5. Nitric acid formula is HNO3. Let us see. Nitrogen forms oxo acids such as H2N2O2, hyponitrous acid, HNO2, nitrous acid, HNO2 is nitrous acid, and HNO3 nitric acid. Amongst them, HNO3 is the most important. Nitric acid is most important because it is very important chemical. Before that, here one term, that is oxo acid. What is meant by oxo acid? HNO3, if you want to write the structure, N double bond O, OH, dative bond O, covalency 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this nitric acid contains OH group. Nitric acid contains OH group. From this, hydrogen is going to be released. The compounds which contain OH groups, but they are going to donate H plus ions only. Meaning, the compounds which will donate H plus ions from oxygen. The compounds which will donate H plus ions from oxygen. Hydrogen is not bonded to nitrogen, ma. Observe. It is bonded to oxygen. So, this compound contains OH. But this compound will not donate OH minus ions. If it donates OH minus ions, that is called base. Instead of OH minus ions, it is donating H plus ions only. Because when compared to ON bond, OH bond is weak. That's why H plus ion only it can be donated. Okay. The compounds or the acids which can donate H plus ions from oxygen is called oxo acid. Nitrogen forms oxo acids such as H2N2O2, hyponitrous acid, HNO2, nitrous acid, HNO3, nitric acid. These are all containing OH groups, but H plus ions will be donated. These are all called oxo acids. One more example, H2SO4. H2SO4 contains sulfur OH. Sulfur is bonded to OH, OH, double bond O, double bond O. See, two hydrogens are present with oxygens only. This H2SO4 contains OH groups, but H plus ions are going to be donated. This is also called oxo acid. If you see HCl, Directly hydrogen is bonded to chlorine. Because of electronegative difference, hydrogen H plus ion can be given out. This is not from oxygen and this one does not contain OH. This type of acids are normal acids. I think you are understanding the difference between acid and oxoacid. Okay, H2SO4, HNO3, H3PO4, these are all examples for oxoacids. H3PO4 is also example for oxoacid. Okay, see, nitrogen forms oxoacids such as H2N2O2, these are all completed. Now we have to see preparation of nitric acid. How we are going to prepare nitric acid. In the laboratory, nitric acid is prepared by heating potassium nitrate or sodium nitrate and concentrated H2SO4 in a glass retort, that is equipment. Okay, so NaNO3 is heated with H2SO4 to form NaHSO4 and HNO3. Sodium nitrate reacts with H2SO4 to form NaHSO4 plus HNO3. H will be exchanged with sodium. This sodium reacts with HSO4. One hydrogen reacts with NO3 to form HNO3. Out of two hydrogens, one hydrogen reacts with NO3 to form HNO3, and instead of that hydrogen we are getting sodium. So hydrogen and sodium are getting exchanged. This is in the laboratory preparation. On a large scale, it is prepared mainly by Ostwald's process. Very important. On a large scale, it is prepared mainly by Ostwald's process. This method is based upon catalytic oxidation of ammonia by atmospheric oxygen. Catalytic oxidation means in presence of catalyst, this oxidation will be taken place. Oxidation of ammonia by atmospheric oxygen. So, ammonia reacts with oxygen in presence of a catalyst platinum such that rhodium gas. It is a catalyst. Platinum such that rhodium at 500 Kelvin and 9 bar pressure. Almost it is 9 atmosphere pressure. 1 atmosphere is equal to 1.013 bar. Okay, you will get 4NO plus 6H2O. 4NO plus 6H2O. This nitric oxide formed in first step will combine with oxygen again to form NO2 gas. Nitric oxide thus formed combines with oxygen again, giving NO2 gas. This nitrogen dioxide dissolves in water. We will supply that water, dissolves in water to form nitric acid. 2HNO3 aqueous plus NO gas. Again this NO gas will be circulated, reacts with oxygen to form 2NO2. Again that NO2 dissolved in water, 3NO2 here, dissolved in water to form nitric acid. These are the 3 steps involved in Ostwald's process. The 3 steps are combinedly called Ostwald's process. Nitric oxide thus forms a C. On a large scale, it is prepared mainly by Ostwald's process. This method is based upon catalytic oxidation of ammonia by atmospheric oxygen. First step, this is first step, second step and third step. NO thus formed is recycled. That's why only I told. NO thus formed is recycled and the aqueous HNO3 can be concentrated by distillation up to 68% by mass. Further concentration to 98% can be achieved by dehydration with concentrated H2SO4, where concentrated H2SO4 is a dehydrating agent. So if any traces of water is present, that water can be removed by using the dehydrating agent to form almost 98% pure HNO3. Because H2SO4 is a dehydrating agent, it is used to remove water from any other substance. Is it okay, ma? These are the preparations of nitric acid. Two preparations we have seen. In a laboratory, it is prepared from sodium salts or potassium salts also, NaNO3 plus H2SO4 to form HNO3 and NaHSO4. Other one, Ostwald's process. These three steps are coming under Ostwald's process. First step, ammonia oxidation. Second step, NO reacts with oxygen. Third step, NO2 dissolved in water to form nitric acid. This nitric acid with the traces of water, it will be dehydrated with the help of dehydrating agent H2SO4 to form HNO3 98% almost. Okay, ma? This is the preparation of nitric acid. And in today's class, we have seen ammonia properties and nitric acid preparation, and even nitrogen properties also we have seen. Hope you are understanding, everyone. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can clarify through WhatsApp or by phone call also, or even I am conducting doubt session also to clarify your doubts now. Okay, everything is clear for you. In next class we will start from properties of nitric acid, and along with that deleted topics also clearly I will mention, and only present topics we will concentrate. Okay, and one more thing, this is very important chapter. Almost 10 questions out of 35 will be asked from P block, so we need to concentrate highly. Okay, MCQs you have to practice well. That is about today's class, ma. Thank you all. Have a nice day.